All right, if you've owned a ZTE branded phone for any length of time, at least the vast majority of them, including this model, which is the ZTE lever model, you've probably seen this message come up, and it gets very annoying. I've looked at many forums and looked online, and it seems to be a real problem for most people with their ZTE phones. The phone itself, I think the graphics are fine. It's an inexpensive. It was about $200 or a little less than $200 when I bought it. Great phone. It's got the straight talk wireless service to it. Good service, good coverage and things. But the phone itself has a specific problem. This happened within the first day or so I had it. Contacted ZTE. With not much avail. Contacted Straight Talk Wireless. Again, not much. They usually want to send out a new SIM card thinking the SIM card's defective, or they'll send you a refurb phone. Unfortunately, the refurb phones don't appear to be fixed. So I'm going to show you a way to fix your own phone to not have the headaches, even though it is technically ZTE's responsibility to fix this. I know that once the 1-year warranty ends, no matter how many phones they've sent me, it won't do me any good. And I'm still dealing with as many as 72 times this message comes up on my phone, including one day it dropped as many as 12 calls on me in the middle of a call. So when the SIM card disconnects, it disconnects you from your service, disconnecting your phone call or anything you're doing. So, as well as an annoying pop-up constantly when I unlock my phone that it's got a SIM card error, telling you the SIM card's been pulled out. So, if you're having this problem and you have this experience with the phone, here's what you're going to want to do. After taking apart one of the phones and determining really what the issue was, and that has to do with the contacts, all contacts on the bottom of the SIM card don't stay connected all the time, especially since the phone is slightly flexible. Not a great feature on the phone, but the way they do this with the carrier in it that holds the actual card is really not the best way to do this. So here's what we're going to do, and I'm going to give you a list of the things you need to correct this problem. Write down the list. You can come visit our sponsor at scentfast.com. They do novelty and fake diplomas and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, and they do a good job. I've got a few items, and they do look professional. So go and see them if it's something you're interested in. If not, that's fine. I'm here to provide a free way to fix your phone because it shouldn't really cost you anything to do. So first thing is you need scissors and Scotch tape. Business or index card. Basically, you're going to cut a piece out of somebody's business card or out of an index card. I have index card pieces that I've cut for doing this, and then a small paper clip. The ZTE phone comes with a little tool to extract the SIM card and the memory card out. However, I don't always know where mine's at. I'm not going to carry the thing around for any reason, so. Let's get on with the fix. Thanks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our SIM card. SIM card's removed by placing a small paper clip or the tool that came with the phone in and pressing it down. You're going to press forward so that the card carrier slides out, and you grab the carrier, pull the card out. This is the SIM card. There's the bottom of it where the contacts are. You can see the little slide marks as I move it, of where the contacts actually make and touch the card. This is where the problem lies. The card itself, the placement of the card versus the contacts are not tight enough. In other words, they get to a point where all it takes is for a fraction of a second for one of those contacts to be away from the card, and the phone will tell you that the SIM card's been removed. So we're going to cure that problem today. The fix I'm going to show you I've actually used for over 30 days. It worked great in this phone. Just removed it to make this video after testing it. So it does work. I've been very happy with it. The SIM card itself never had a problem. so there's no concern there. First thing we're going to do, I like to use a little bit of wax paper as well for doing this. Just makes my piece of tape look better. It's not required, you know, but I kind of from time to time do that kind of stuff. So we're going to put our tape onto the wax paper. This makes the tape easier to cut with scissors, and so we don't get our fingers in the way. All right, I'm going to take and cut a piece of that tape, and the Scotch tape itself, as you can see, is close to what we're going to want. I'll hold up the next card. This is our fix. What you're going to do, you're going to cut the Scotch tape and the cardstock to a 7/16 by 5/8 piece. As you can see, it's that size. We're going to approximate it. It doesn't have to be exact. It can be a little bit smaller if you want, but that's about the maximum size you want for the cardstock. You want the tape to be a little bit bigger than the cardstock, so you can cut it a little bit smaller. But I'll show you some of the tricks here. What we're going to do with our piece of tape, we're going to approximate that cut. Now, I've got a piece out here that's approximately that size that I was messing with. So I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to put it on just like that, so I can approximate my tape. Now I'm going to make my tape just a little bit wider, because I did cut my cardstock just a little bit thinner, and you'll see why in a few minutes. So I've got my piece of tape that I can literally just roll off of here. Now this is why the wax paper was important, because the tape will pull from the wax paper and I don't have to have it all over my fingers. It doesn't have to pick up dust and things that my fingers might have on it. Okay, the next step in this process is going to be to take our piece of cardstock. Now I've got a piece cut to approximately the size, the width cut to approximately the size. And all I'm going to do is cut the length, and I'll measure it against my card here and just make an approximate cut. It doesn't have to be exact. Mainly we want it above the contacts. It just needs to cover the contacts, above where the contacts rest. So the contacts, as you can see, are the gold. This piece will go right above my SIM card, right on top of it. I like to turn it at a slight angle or cut the end of the paper at just a slight angle. In fact, I'll add to that angle right now. And the reason why is, as you slide the card in, there's a little metal top that basically you're bracing this against so that it presses down on the card. And as you slide it in, if it's got a slight angle, it fits underneath that metal better than it does without. So now that I've got that sitting on top, I'm going to pull my piece of tape from my wax paper, and I'm going to set it on top of my card stock paper that I cut and tape it down. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it stays within the metal confines of the card carrier. Here we go. I'm going to readjust that a little bit. We'll just reattach that to our Scotch tape. Okay, so we've got that, and we're going to set this and tape it down like so. So there's what we have. We've got it taped down onto the card, the back, and we're going to next take our phone. We're going to insert the card in there. I like to bevel it up slightly on here, just because if I bevel it slightly up as I press it in, the card seems to fit, the card stock and cards seem to fit in a little better. So I want, inside the phone, down in that hole, you're going to see that there's a spot for this carrier to write into, and that the spot for that carrier is very important to what we're doing. Okay.
Wow, I was gonna walk right in there.
Okay, our phone now has the card back in it, and the error's gone, and I can flex the phone around, play with it, whereas it normally would have caused me a problem.